Good morning everyone. Today we shall deal with the next topic in chapter 1, that is micro and macroeconomics. In the present time, to understand the scope of economics, there are two ways. One is microeconomics and the other is macroeconomics. These two words originally derived from the Greek word. Micro means small and macro means aggregative. The subject which studies individual or small units of economy is microeconomics, and the subject which studies aggregate or overall sector of the economy is macroeconomics. Let us understand in detail. Microeconomics studies and analyzes the individual units of an economy. In the study of demand, consumer is an individual unit of the whole analysis of economics. In labor market analysis, unit is labor. In short, the analysis which studies the behavior of a unit and which counts the marginal is microeconomics. Marginal utility of consumer behavior given by Marshall, or the law of demand, law of supply, price equilibrium of goods, equilibrium of the firm are studied in microeconomics. Macroeconomics, rather than focusing on an individual unit, deals with aggregate or altogether. Example: study of national income, aggregate employment, aggregate production, population or census are examples of macroeconomics. The study of macroeconomics helps the government in framing economic policies and helps the economic institutes in decision-making process. Microeconomics and macroeconomics are two branches which are developed for the purpose of study and analysis. Micro study helps in framing of macro policies. Similarly, it can be studied from impact of macro policy on an individual unit. Both analyses are complementary to each other. In economic analysis or in the study of economics, information can be presented in the three ways. One is descriptive manner, second is by way of data tables, and third is by way of diagrams and graphs. For instance, description of relation between price of a commodity and its demand is stated as when price falls, demand expands and vice versa, or there is an inverse relation between price and demand. This can be shown in the form of a table. In the table, the price of the commodity is depicted and the demand for the commodity by the individual in units is depicted. The same table can be represented in the form of a graph. In the x-axis, we have the demand, and in the y-axis, we have the price. By plotting corresponding points to the price and the demand for a commodity and joining the points, we will get a downward sloping demand curve which expresses the cause and relationship, and this shows that in economics, by way of graphs, the data can be expressed. Now let us see the importance of statistical information in economics. The first is statistical information supports or confirms a principle. Philosophy of economics observes human behavior, and scientific tools in economics establishes theories and principles. For example, statistical data on rainfall and agricultural production in a region at one time or at different times helps to understand the cause-effect relation between rainfall and agricultural production. Likewise, data on the price of a commodity and its demand can help to confirm the relation between economics and establish between the two. Statistical information gives an idea of the changing trend of economic parameters. For example, we can know how sales revenue of a particular firm is changing, or we can know the trends of employment of a nation, or we can say that the share of agriculture is falling in national income, or the supply of money is rising in the economy. Such data helps individual units to make appropriate decisions to increase their benefits and helps the government in making appropriate economic policies. The statistical information helps to make comparative study easy. If appropriate statistical data are obtained, then comparison of a parameter can be made across regions, nations, and different time periods. For instance, India's macroeconomic parameters like per capita income, inflation, with those of other countries like USA, UK, China, etc. can be made. Statistical information helps to make precise presentation of facts with the help of diagrams and graphs. Graphs showing inflation, agricultural production, regional disparities can give a clearer picture of their trends as compared to what description and words can do. Thus, it can be easily understood by laypersons. Our next topic is some requisite aspects in collecting statistical information and presenting it in diagrams, graphs, or in chart. Statistical information can be presented in the form of diagrams, chart, and graph. These are helpful in explaining some economic principles, trends, and relationships in a simple and suggestive manner. While constructing diagrams, the following particulars must be considered. The next is sources of information data. The sources of data must be reliable and universally acceptable to ensure their accuracy. For instance, information regarding growth and development parameters in India and Economic Survey of India and data provided by Central Statistical Organization is a reliable source. To obtain comparative data, the World Development Report is reliable and universally acceptable source. The third one is clarity regarding dependent and independent variable. When there is a cause-effect relation between variables, then the cause variable is treated as the independent variable and the effect variable is treated as the dependent variable. For instance, if we are determining the relation between rainfall and agricultural production in a region, then the rainfall is the independent variable and is represented on the x-axis, and agricultural production is the dependent variable and is represented on the y-axis. The next is selecting appropriate scales. In order to obtain systematic graph with clarity and appropriate size, proper scales must be taken on both the axes. Scales are measures taken to represent the data in a diagram. If the data is too large, say in 3 zeros or 5 zeros, then such data cannot be represented in charts. Hence, it is represented after converting it into measures on an appropriate scale. Presenting quantitative numerical information in diagrams and graphs. Numerical data can be represented in various types of diagrams and graphs. Some other types of charts, diagrams, and graphs frequently used in economics are bar diagram, group bar diagram, pie diagram. Diagrams showing linear and non-linear relationships are commonly used in economics. The demand curve is one such diagram. As told already, the numerical data can be represented in different types of graphs and diagrams. The three types are bar diagram, group bar diagram, and pie diagram. A bar diagram is also known as bar chart or bar graph is a diagram which represents group data with rectangular bars with lengths proportional to the values which they represent. The clustered bar diagram or the group bar diagram, these charts are used when the dependent variable is grouped in more than one category. For example, when we want to examine the literacy rates for different years in Gujarat, we can use a group bar chart to show male, female and total literacy as three categories in one group for 1 year. Bars for each category can be shaded or colored differently. The next is pie chart. A pie chart is a circular statistical graph which is divided into sectors to illustrate numerical proportions of data. In a series of diagrams and graphs, in the pie diagram, The numerical data is converted into degrees in a circle and sectors are formed considering degrees of different categories. Example, for the data of percentage share of different sectors, agriculture, industry, service of economy to the national income of a country. Pie diagram is taken and drawn by taking total percentage 100 as 360 degrees and dividing the circle into sectors as per the degree of their percentage share. The three diagrams, the bar diagram, the clustered bar graph and the pie diagram are represented in page number 6, 7 and 8 of your textbook. Kindly go through. The last topic of this chapter is importance of economics. In the modern world, almost all goods of human needs have become economic goods owing to increasing use and scarcity, and thus all activities of human beings are increasingly becoming economic activities. Economics is important to understand behavior of human beings, society and state while managing everyday activities and scientific theories and principles guiding professional decision making. Let us understand the importance of economics one by one. Understanding everyday behavior. Economics is useful in understanding everyday behavior of human beings, society and state while managing routine tasks. Understanding international events. Some international events affect lives of people in several countries like USA, Russia, China, etc. People try to understand the impact of rise in price of crude oil in international market on their own cost of living. People also try to understand why some countries are more developed and others are less developed. Understanding historical events. Knowledge of economics helps to understand historical events better. Economics helps to understand the reason behind wars, entry of East India Company, the resultant British Raj, India's revolt against goods made in England during British rule, labor movements, etc. Let us see the economic importance of economics. Economics helps in decision making by individuals. People from all walks of life like households, lawyers, actors, singers and others try to get maximum gains from their efforts which they make. They try to manage their time and resources in the optimum manner. In a way, they all indulge in economic decisions knowingly and unknowingly. Economics helps to understand government policies. Economics is useful to understand various government policy. Policy of Reserve Bank of India for repo rate and reverse repo rate guides decisions regarding savings and investment. Economics is useful for professional decision making. Economics is useful in knowing scientific principles and theories which guide professional decision making. Certain theories of economics help business in day-to-day decisions pertaining to price determination. Thus, economics is a science that provides insight for day-to-day rational decisions making for maximizing gains by minimum cost. Economics is a science which provides insight for day-to-day decision making. All human beings play a role as consumer, producer or labor from time to time. Economics helps them to take rational decisions for maximizing gains by minimizing economic cost. We come to the end of the first chapter. Please go through the question answers and the MCQs in page number 9 of your textbook and start preparing notes. Thank you.